Black. Total black. The kind of dark that presses against your eyes. Like fingers. Elara Vane stood at the top of the cellar stairs. Her hand gripped the doorframe. Knuckles white, heart hammering. She shouldn't be here. Curfew started an hour ago. Enforcer patrols were circling the outer farms, and the penalty for breaking curfew in the Unmarked District? Scratch. She froze. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Something was down there, something alive, something dragging itself across dirt. The oil lamp shook in her grip. She raised it, descended. 1 step, 2, 3. The smell hit first. Damp earth, mold, and underneath it all, copper. Fresh copper, the unmistakable scent of blood. Hello? Her voice echoed off the stone walls. Came back to her. Warped. Wrong. Silence. Then, a whimper. High-pitched. Broken. And the sound of something small. Dying. Elara moved faster now, past the shelves of preserved beets, past the empty wine rack, past the corner where her mother used to hide her forbidden journals. She stopped. The lamplight caught metal. Iron first, rusted, ancient, then silver, bright silver, singing in the dark like a warning. A trap, not a fox snare, not a hunting trap, a silver-lined iron trap, and caught inside it, bleeding from the jaw, shaking so hard its bones rattled. A wolf pup, number A, Runt, the smallest she'd ever seen. Black fur matted with mud and blood. One eye is swollen completely shut. The silver had burned a brand into its muzzle, a crescent-shaped wound that steamed in the November cold. Oh, gods! Elara dropped to her knees. Oh, gods! Who did this to you? The runt opened its remaining eye. Golden. Bright. Too bright for something so broken. Around its neck, a chain, heavy, glinting beneath the filth. Elara reached for it. Boom! Above her, the cottage door slamming open. Boom! 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 Heavy boots, crossing the kitchen, stopping directly overhead. A voice cut through the floorboards. Deep, official. Pack. Elara Vane, by order of the Alpha King, you are commanded to open this door. The runt's golden eye locked onto hers. Don't make a sound. She didn't breathe. Let's pause the narrative for a moment, because what you just witnessed is not simply a woman finding a wounded animal. This is the beginning of something far more dangerous, something that has been building for 16 years. The woman in that cellar is Elara Vane. She is 23 years old, packless, unmarked, and in the rigid hierarchy of the Silverbound world, or she occupies the lowest possible position. She is what the packs call a rejected Omega. Now, in most werewolf stories, the rejected Omega is a victim. She waits, she suffers. She hopes that someday a powerful Alpha will recognize her worth. But that is not how it works in the old moon laws. You see, Elara was not rejected because she was weak. She was rejected because her mother, a healer named Elara Vane, committed an act so forbidden that the Pack Council erased her name from every record. Marin died 3 months later. And Elara? Elara was marked with something called a severance brand. A scar, burned into the collarbone, that prevents any wolf from ever claiming her as a mate. She cannot be bonded. She cannot be tracked. She cannot be protected. The pack thinks this makes her worthless. But here is what the pack does not understand. The same brand that isolates her also makes her invisible. And invisibility, in a world where the Alpha King has eyes in every village, that is the most dangerous weapon of all. Now, let us return to that cellar, because Elara is about to make a choice that will change everything. The knocking stopped. Elara stayed frozen, knees grinding into cellar dirt, hand hovering inches from the trap, above her. Boots shifted, creaked, moved toward the kitchen window. He's checking the perimeter. She had 90 seconds, maybe less. The runt whimpered, a thin, reedy sound. Its breathing had gone shallow. The silver burn on its muzzle was spreading, blackened veins pulsing with each weak heartbeat. Okay. She wiped her palms on her skirt. I'm going to get you out, but you have to stay quiet. Can you do that? The golden eye blinked once, or she took it as a yes. The trap's mechanism was old. Pre-accords design, 2 pressure plates, a central spring, and a locking pin, coated in silver dust. Elara pulled her sleeve over her hand, gripped the pin. 1, 2, 3. She yanked. The trap snapped open. The runt collapsed sideways, legs too weak to hold. A fresh wave of blood seeped from the jaw wound, pooling in the dirt. Shh. Elara gathered the creature into her arms. It weighed almost nothing. Bones wrapped in fur, trembling against her chest. I've got you. I've got you now. The chain around its neck clinked. She looked down, and her blood turned to ice. Hanging from the chain, a ring, heavy. Gold, engraved with a crest she had seen only once before. In the history texts, the Pack Council tried to burn. A wolf devouring a crescent moon. But the royal signet of the Blackwood line. Number. No. Above her, the front door crashed open. Elara Vane! The enforcer was inside. To understand the weight of this scene, we have to look at the history of what Elara just touched. That trap, the silver-lined iron trap, is not a hunting tool. It is an execution device, and its existence in that cellar raises questions that strike at the very heart of the Silverbound power structure. Let me explain. In the Silverbound universe, silver does not simply burn werewolf flesh. It corrodes what is known as the spirit bond. This is the metaphysical thread that connects a wolf to their pack, to their mate, and to their ancestral bloodline. Iron, meanwhile, locks the physical body. It prevents shifting. It freezes the natural healing factor. Now, combine them. You create a prison that attacks both dimensions simultaneously. A wolf caught in a silver iron trap cannot shift to escape, cannot heal to survive, and cannot reach out through the pack bond to call for help. They die alone, in silence, cut off from everything that makes them wolf. The Crimson Accords of 1823 outlawed these devices after the Northern Rebellion. The punishment for possessing one? Immediate pack dissolution, every member executed, every territory burned to ash. So ask yourself, who would risk that punishment to trap a runt? Who had access to pre-accords designs? And why was that trap buried in the cellar of a healer's cottage? A cottage that has been empty for 16 years? The answers are connected to that ring around the pup's neck. But Elara does not have time for answers right now. Look, she has 40 seconds before the enforcer finds the cellar door. Elara moved. No thought, pure instinct. She tucked the runt beneath the lowest shelf, behind the beet jars, in the darkest corner, where the lamplight could never reach. Her hands shook as she spread her shawl over the creature, covering the black fur, covering the blood, covering the damning glint of gold. "Stay," she whispered. "Please, stay quiet." She didn't wait for a response. She grabbed the oil lamp, killed the flame with her palm. Hiss. Pain shot through her hand. The smell of burning skin filled the dark. She climbed the cellar stairs. Each step felt like a mile. Her legs were wet, her heart a war drum. The kitchen was bright. Too bright. The enforcer had lit every candle. He stood in the center of the room, 6.5 feet of muscle and authority. His uniform bore the crimson claw insignia. the mark of the Alpha King's personal guard. His name was Kalen Voss. She knew him. Everyone in the village knew him. He was the one who had dragged her mother to the council chamber 16 years ago. Elara, he smiled. It did not reach his eyes. You didn't answer the door. I was sleeping. In your clothes? His gaze dropped to her knees. With mud on your skirt? Shit. I fell. In the garden. Earlier. The garden. Kalen stepped closer. His nostrils flared. He's scenting the air. Strange time for gardening, after curfew, in November. I forgot something. A tool. I went to retrieve it. What tool? A trowel. Show me. Elara's throat tightened. I couldn't find it. That's why I came back inside. Kalen's smile widened. You're lying. He moved past her. Slow. Deliberate. His boots, heavy, iron-soled, thudded against the floorboards. Each step sent vibrations through the wood. Thud. Elara imagined the cellar below, dust falling from the ceiling, landing on the runt's wounds. Thud. The creature bit back a whimper. Thud. Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't make a sound. We received a report, Kalen said. He was examining the kitchen now, opening cabinets, checking the stove, running his finger along the windowsill. Someone saw a figure near the eastern woods tonight, small, fast, moving toward the Unmarked district. I wouldn't know anything about that. No? He turned. You live alone, Elara. No pack, no protection. If something dangerous wandered into your territory, you'd have no way to defend yourself. I manage. Do you? He was closer now, close enough that she could smell the iron polish on his uniform, the leather of his gloves, the faint musk of wolf beneath the surface. Your mother managed to. His voice dropped. Right up until she didn't. Elara's hands curled into fists. Don't talk about my mother. Why not? She was a traitor, a heretic. He leaned in. His breath was hot against her ear. She violated the blood laws and paid the price. His fingers brushed her collarbone, traced the outline of the severance brand beneath her shirt. And you, little Omega, you have her eyes, her stubbornness. A pause. Makes me wonder what else you inherited. Below them, a sound, soft, almost inaudible, a scrape of claws against dirt. Kalen's head snapped toward the floor. What was that? Elara didn't blink. Rats. Rats. The cellar has rats. I've been meaning to set traps. Kalen crouched, pressed his palm flat against the wood, closed his eyes. He's listening. He's listening with his wolf hearing. Elara's heart slammed against her ribs. She could feel the runt's presence like a wound, a bright, bleeding thing, hidden 3 feet below. Please, please, stay still. Seconds passed. 10, 20, 30. Kalen's jaw tightened. His fingers curled against the floorboards. There's blood. What? I can smell it. His eyes opened, fixed on hers. Fresh blood, coming from beneath this floor. I cut my hand, earlier, when I was looking for the trowel. She held up her palm, the burn mark from the lamp still red and raw. I rinsed it in the cellar basin. Kalen rose, towered over her. Then you won't mind if I check. He moved toward the cellar door. Elara stepped into his path. It was instinct, stupid, suicidal. But she did it anyway. Planted herself between the enforcer and the door. Chin raised, shoulders squared. You need a warrant, Kalen laughed. A warrant? The sound was ugly, cold. You think the old laws protect you? You're unmarked, Elara. You have no rights, no standing. I could tear this cottage apart plank by plank, and no one would stop me. Then do it. The words hung in the air. Kalen's expression shifted. The amusement faded. Something harder took its place. Something that looked almost like respect. "You're brave." His voice was quiet now. Stupid, but brave. He stepped closer. So close she could see the silver flecks in his irises. So close she could count the scars on his jaw. "I'm going to find out what you're hiding. Tonight. Tomorrow. Next week." A pause. "It doesn't matter. I always find out." He held her gaze for 3 seconds. 4, 5. Then he stepped back, adjusted his gloves, straightened his uniform. "Enjoy your rats, Elara." He walked to the door, paused with his hand on the frame. "Oh, one more thing." He didn't turn around. "The Alpha King's son went missing 3 nights ago. The entire pack is searching. A beet. If anyone were found harboring him, well." A cold laugh. "Let's just say the silver iron trap would be a mercy compared to what the king would do." The door closed. His boots faded into the night. Elara counted. 100. 200. 300. When she was absolutely certain he was gone. She collapsed against the wall. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. The Alpha King's son. The runt in her cellar. Was the Alpha King's son. But let's pause here to appreciate what just happened. That scene, that entire exchange, lasted approximately 4 minutes. But in those 4 minutes, something shifted in the balance of power. Kalen Voss is not simply an enforcer. He is the Alpha King's personal hunter. His record is flawless. He has never failed to capture a target, never failed to extract information. And yet, he walked away. Why? Some might say he believed her story, that the blood was from her hand, that the sounds were from rats. But I do not think that is the reason. I think Kalen Voss let her go on purpose. You see, in the Silverbound world, there is a tactic known as the long hunt. Instead of capturing prey immediately, the hunter allows them to run, to feel safe, to make mistakes. Because a cornered animal is cautious. But an animal that believes it has escaped, that animal reveals everything. Kalen Voss is not finished with Elara Vane. He is simply waiting. She found him exactly where she left him. The runt hadn't moved, hadn't shifted. The shawl was soaked through with blood, and his breathing had gone from shallow to almost non-existent. Elara knelt beside him, removed the shawl, and for the first time, she really looked. The silver burn had spread. It covered half his muzzle now, a web of blackened veins, pulsing with each weak heartbeat. The jaw wound was worse. She could see bone. "You're dying," she whispered. The golden eye opened. "Yes." "I can't. I don't have the supplies. I'm not a healer. My mother was the healer, and she died. She died because of what she knew." Elara reached for the ring, turned it in the lamplight. As the wolf devouring the moon seemed to move, seemed to breathe in the flickering glow. "This is real, isn't it? You're really—" The runt closed its eye. To understand the weight of what Elara just discovered, we have to talk about the Blackwood line. The Blackwoods have ruled the Silverbound territories for 11 generations. Their power is absolute. Their bloodline is considered sacred. But the current Alpha King, Dominic Blackwood, has only one living heir. His name is Caspian. He is 19 years old, and according to official pack records, he is a runt. Born small, born weak, born without the ability to fully shift. In the Silverbound world, runts are considered cursed. They are hidden away, denied education, denied training, denied any chance at succession. But here is what the pack does not know. Caspian's mother was a marked healer, one of the last practitioners of the old ways. She could manipulate the spirit bond, strengthen it, sever it, even transfer it. When Caspian was born, she did something forbidden. She bound his wolf to a different form, a smaller form. She compressed his power to protect him from the politics of the court. In other words, Caspian is not weak, he is hidden, and someone just tried to make sure he stays hidden forever. Now, there is another layer to this revelation. It is called the blood debt. 16 years ago, Elara's mother, Elara Vane, saved the life of the queen during Caspian's birth. The complications were severe. The queen should have died. But Elara used the old ways. She saved them both. And in doing so, she created an unbreakable bond, a debt that passes through generations. If Elara saves Caspian now, she becomes bound to the royal line forever, protected, powerful, perhaps even claimed. But if she is caught harboring him, she will be executed as a traitor, the same fate as her mother. The severance brand on Elara's collarbone began to burn. She gasped, clawed at her shirt. The scar, the wound that had kept her invisible for 16 years, was glowing, pulsing, sinking, with the Runt's heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. His heart, her scar, thump, thump, thump. What? She pressed her palm against the mark. It was searingly hot. What's happening to me? The Runt's eye fixed on hers, and then, impossibly, he spoke, not out loud, inside her head, a voice like gravel and smoke. The bond is waking. You are connected to me now. You always were. The shift happened in seconds. One moment, a broken, bleeding runt. The next, bones cracking, for receding, limbs elongating in ways that should not be possible. Elara scrambled backward. Her spine hit the cellar wall. The creature that rose from the blood-soaked dirt was not a pup. He was a man. 19, maybe 20. Pale skin stretched over hard muscle, black hair matted with filth, and eyes, those same golden eyes, burning in a face that was sharp, angular, dangerous. He was naked, wounded. His jaw still bore the silver burn, a crescent-shaped scar that would never fully heal. But he was alive. Elara Vane. His voice was raw, hoarse, like he hadn't used it in years. Daughter of Elara, keeper of the debt. She couldn't speak. You saved me. He took a step forward. His legs shook, but he did not fall. Do you understand what that means? I don't. It means you are mine now. Another step. It means I am yours. The bond is sealed. The debt is paid. I didn't ask for this. No. A ghost of a smile crossed his ruined face. Neither did I. He reached up, touched the scar on her collarbone. His fingers were cold, electric. But we do not have time for questions. His golden eyes hardened. The executioners are 10 miles out. They will be here by dawn. Executioners? My father's personal guard. The ones he sends when he wants someone erased. Caspian's gaze bore into hers. They are not coming for me, Elara. Her blood turned to ice. Then who? They are coming. For you. And that is where we leave Elara Vane, standing in a cellar, bound to a prince, hunted by a king. But here is the question I want you to think about. Did Dominic Blackwood yet trap his own son? Consider the evidence. The trap was a pre-Accords design, buried in a healer's cottage, set to catch something small, something that matched Caspian's compressed form exactly. And now executioners are coming, not for the prince, for Elara, almost like someone wanted her to find him, almost like this was the plan all along. Comment Silver if you want part 2, subscribe if you have not already, and remember, in the Silverbound world, mercy is the most dangerous weapon of all. See you next time.